The Big Mountain has another PAC-2 update, including a Schulz proposal to the CFP, and Georgie K is out.
The PAC-2 is always in the news, so we're back on the Big Mountain to keep you updated.
Hey, it's great to have you here on the mountain. Steve, we have another PAC-2 update. We just did one, and I swear they know we do them, and then news comes out the day we drop these daggone things. But it's great because it gives us more videos to do and more content, and hopefully our people enjoy it. I know we got some awesome Beavs and Cougs fans, so we're going to bring you more info. Let's start with the Schulz proposal to the college football playoff leaders, where he's going to be proposing that the PAC-12 should be treated as a Power 5 for the extended future. So let's get into this a little bit, and then we're going to talk about our buddy Georgie K.
All right.
We'll end with him. But let's start with this proposal first. So Ross Dellinger reports that Washington State President Kirk Schulz is planning a formal presentation to the CFP leaders to request that the PAC-12 conference be treated as a power conference in both revenue and in voting rights for the extended future, something we just talked about a little bit in terms of this revenue and voting right power on our last episode. So he's been working on this.
Yeah.
He may have some answers.
He's been listening to the Big Mountain, and he's got a plan for that.
He put it together real quick. So this meeting is set for February 20th. It's to be virtual with the CFP Board of Managers, and he, of course, is a member of the management committee there. This pitch is for 2026 and beyond. So when you hear extended future, what does that mean? It means 2026 and beyond. If you remember the PAC-2 right now, those members have been granted the P5 payout for the larger P5 payout for 24 and 25 if they happen to get there. Yep. All of this comes as there is no revenue distribution model for 2026 and beyond. There's new news that just came out, obviously, that ESPN, it looks like they're going to re-up for a 6-year deal, but there's no framework yet about that.
One thing I noticed about that when that deal was announced, it said pending them working out the particulars, which is, I think, what we're working on right now.
This could be one of the particulars for sure. So, again, it's kind of like Schulz is asking for something to which there's not even a particular, or there isn't detail for it yet. So it's interesting. Maybe this is part of that.
I think
who knows. He is expecting a vote on Tuesday. He's going to request a vote on this proposal Tuesday. The proposal would be nullified if the PAC were to be dissolved in the future, or if Washington State and Oregon State joined another conference. Makes sense. According to Schulz, this proposal is not tied to his vote moving to a 5-7 model. We just talked about that the other day. His quote is that his vote is not tied to this proposal. According to him, tying these things together would not be a good colleague. It's exactly what I kind of said when I said, ooh, short-term gain, long-term loss, at least a risk there. He's saying that's not the case. Hey, the eye's in the beholder, and it depends on what his colleagues think he's doing, not so much what he thinks he's doing. But anyway, he did acknowledge that a CFP model that has more at-large spots benefits the PAC right now because they will not have any auto qualifiers. And we talked about it benefits the PAC, probably benefits the G5 right now too. It's kind of potentially opening another spot for them depending on where they're ranked. So that's kind of where we're at. He's going to propose this. I'm anxious to see in a week what comes out. Hopefully there's going to be some news coming out of this. What are you thinking here, Steve?
Yeah, Schulz, I've continued to be impressed. I know, we've talked about how maybe he's pissing some people off. For me, especially after how everything went down, how the PAC just went out with a whimper, really. I have been impressed at the way that he's continued to fight. He didn't tuck his tail between his legs and run away. He's continued to fight to get the best possible deal for his school and his conference and his school. So this doesn't surprise me. I think it's a little bit of a, I don't know if I want to say Hail Mary, but I think it's going to be a tough argument to make.
It will.
But he's trying. He's going for it. He's out there fighting for the PAC, for what's left of the PAC, and for his university. So I don't blame him.
Well, and I think this could be one of those stepping stones towards where are they going to end up. if they want to try to rebuild the PAC, they need to know what 26 potentially looks like. If they're going to put in all this effort, time, money, and whatever the case may be to rebuild this, they have to be able to sell what a 2026 looks like. Because 2024, we're in 2024. You're not selling anything right now. Everybody's done. So this year's done. They're not really selling a 2025 at this point. They have to sell a 2026. And if this doesn't get solidified, which I agree with you, I think this is a hard sell. I know why he's doing it. He has to do it. They have to have answers. But if they don't get this proposal through, it could just be another reason why the orange isn't worth the squeeze, right?
Yes.
It's just one piece of it, though. Not the only piece, but one piece of it.
I did want to add one thing, because we talked about this last time, like you mentioned. Schultz's comments about the 5 and 7 model versus 6 and 6 made me kind of rethink the positions here. Now, for the Mountain West, it's more beneficial to have more automatic conference champion bids.
Sure.
But what Schultz said, and now that I've thought about it more, I agree with him, it would actually benefit the remaining PAC-2 right now to have less conference automatic bids and have more open bids, at large bids,
right? More
because they're competing with Notre Dame and the non-conference champions for those. So I really didn't think about that before, because I just kind of had this in my mind that the end all was going to be the Mountain West and the PAC merging, and he was trying to fight for that. But in this case, the way it stands the next couple years, it actually benefits Oregon State and Washington State to have less automatic conference champion qualifiers and more at-large qualifiers.
Yeah.
So
good point. Well, you ready to get into our second piece?
Let's go.
We have an answer on our buddy, Commissioner George Kliavkoff. News has just come out that the PAC is looking to formally separate from their commissioner through a negotiated settlement. Rumors are swirling that Teresa Gould, the current deputy commissioner, is being targeted as a replacement for George. The news broke due to the PAC board giving notice to the 10 departing members of a proposed leadership transition with an invitation to provide commitment. Remember, while the 10 departing members no longer vote on anything, they're not voting members, our buddy Judge Levy was very clear that they need to be kept up to date. They need to know what's going on. While they can't vote, they are still members of the conference. So that's how this, I think, kind of all broke, so to speak, is that, notice was given to these 10 departing members that, hey, we're doing something right now. And I've seen comments, a lot of negative comments, and there's not a lot of love lost for our buddy George. But there were some other things that I found interesting. I'm just going to point out a couple. One, he wasn't the problem. The fingers should be pointed at the presidents. Another one, the process started way back with the PAC-12 network over a decade ago in terms of how things just started to fall apart. Another one, he had no chance due to his good old predecessor, Larry Scott. And then another one, the presidents and ADs ruined the conference. So there is, I don't want to say
enough blame to go around.
There's plenty of blame to go around. I am not in any way defending him, but I just wanted to point out that, yes, he is absolutely the easy scapegoat here. And again, plenty of blame to go around. But as we've said before, you don't lose a conference like this because of one guy. So anyway, that's where we're at. What are you thinking about Bye Georgie?
So before I talk about Georgie Porgy,
okay,
here, I want shout out to our old friend Judge Levy.
Yes.
He has his impending retirement now. And he went out with a bang, ended up being the decider on one of the most influential cases for college sports. And a lot of the things that he said in the first couple hearings had played out exactly within that case and had ramifications in this ACC case. So shout out to Judge Levy. We call him, I think the first episode we called him as like backwater judge or something like that. But shout out to him. He went out with a bang, and maybe we can get him on our show sometime, special guest, especially after he retires.
That would be fantastic. That would be, and I have to eat a little crow because I was a little hard on him in the beginning. But you're right. A lot of what he said has come to fruition now. Hindsight's 20/20, but he pretty much nailed this for sure.
So getting past that, I think also in our first couple episodes we said right away at the beginning, wow. the Commissioner K, the way he was kind of coming out and representing it really appeared he was representing the interest of the 10 leaving.
Yeah.
And we said, boy, this could go real bad for him in a hurry. Well, as soon as those 10 are gone, he's going to look around. He's not going to have any friends left.
Yep.
Now, we speculated a couple episodes ago that maybe they would just keep him around and let him finish out his contract. Well, obviously, looks like that's not to be the case. So it is what it is. This is not unexpected. Plenty of blame to go around. Myself, as I've looked back, I would say probably Larry Scott, his predecessor, probably owns a heck of a lot more of those bad decisions. But I don't know how anyone could really say anything good about George K's leadership either. So the Titanic sunk on his watch.
Yes.
So it is what it is. That's pretty much all I have to say about George K.
Georgie. Well, we probably won't bring him up much after this. Maybe a little bit, depending on what happens here. But since it's a negotiated settlement, it's not going to be any sort of crazy news, I wouldn't think. So, hey, with that, we had some new news. We had to get it to our Beavs and Cougs fans. We thank you guys for watching. Make sure you give us a like. Make sure you give us a subscribe. And with that, we'll see you guys next time on the Big Mountain.
Hit the road, Georgie.